Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I'm reviewing Disney Pixar's Soul. And behind me I'm going to have screenshots of the movie just to give you context and things I'm going to be talking about. Spoiler alert, I do not want to ruin this movie for anybody who's thinking about watching it. You've probably already heard, it's one of those Disney movies that hit hard, hit home, and it has so much greater meaning that you could apply to your life. And that's what I really want to talk about today, along with some scenes I enjoyed and the depth. With that being said, let's get right to it. The movie opens up with this guy. He's a teacher, he's a musician, his passion is music, and his dream is to make it big in music. The movie opens up with him teaching this class, and the music sounds amazing. Oh my gosh. You could just tell just by the look of it that is banging. As soon as you walk in this floor, you're gonna be like, maybe it wasn't, it was entirely horrible. Teacher keeps it going, you know what I mean? Show gotta go on. At some point in this scene, he gets up and he starts playing music and showing people how to get lost in the music. He passionately teaches, you can tell, because he's doing what he loves. It's still music, and he loves seeing other people enjoy music. Next thing you know, boss right here offers him a full-time job. He was working part-time. Here's his reaction here. My boy don't look too happy. He's like, initially you think, dang, when I get an opportunity like this, it's great. You know, life is solved, I'm good. But there's definitely more to that when it comes to somebody chasing their passions, and we're gonna get into that. This is the conflict of life between passions and going a traditional route, offense and defense in life. In other words, do I chase my passions or do I do what's more practical? And I think this is what's going on in his mind. I mean, check bro out. He's like, oh snap. These are the greats. It reminds him of this passions. He wants to be someone in music. You know, it hits you hard. You're like, this is my dream. I just got a full-time job. Is this gonna impact my dream? Do I have to choose between my dream and my job? Now he tells his parents about it. And you know, this topic is very popular amongst family. You know, doing what can sustain you versus chasing your dream. You know, not all families support that. Many families support responsibilities over chasing your dream, other families vice versa. And also in terms of practicality, you know, where you're at, are you even in the position to think about your dreams? Are financial hardships bombarding you? Anyways, there's a lot that goes into this topic, as you might be able to relate to this. Anyways, so this guy gets an offer from this lady named Dorothea Williams to play. One of his students that he taught grew up and ended up working with a very famous musician, and he calls his teacher and tells him, hey, pull up over here, we have an opportunity, we need a pianist to play. And he's like, sure, I'll come. He goes and he sees her playing and he's amazed, but then he gets like this spotlight to start playing and he kills it, right? And so she's like, you know what, you're gonna come back. She wants to work with him more because he's an amazing musician, right? He forgot about the full-time job offer. As soon as this happened, he's like, oh snap. Here's where it gets serious because so many people can relate to this. He gets his offer, he's on his way traveling, and he's so excited. He's on the phone, he's like, yeah, man. And look, my guy here cheats death. Like, it was nothing. He keeps walking. He's pretty much like, yeah, man, I'm gonna kill this. Bang! Behind him, something falls, and he's like, he don't care. He doesn't even notice it. Next thing you know, he's crossing the street. He almost gets hit by a revel rider. Like, come on, man. At least look where you're going. He's that into his lifestyle. He is so sucked into this opportunity. And, you know, it's excitement. Sometimes we get carried away in our excitements, as you might relate to that. This is just an exaggeration of such, right? So he continues walking right after that, and oh snap, where'd he go? Oh, he dies. At least that's what the movie wants you to think, and I'll explain that later. Let me know in the comment section if you watch this movie, do you think he died or he was dying? This speaks a whole lot of symbolism, you know? You're so lost into your goal, your dream, desire, that you end up losing the opportunity of life. You know, it's more than just your goal. And the movie has so many examples of that same message. But taking it literally, imagine going for your goal so hard to the point where you end up dying, and all your life has been to that point is just that topic, that activity, that role. And to think about that, you know, it makes you question, are you completely happy, satisfied if you made it 100% in this category, but everywhere else in your life is a neglected mess? You know, it gets you to think about this stuff as soon as you see him dead. I mean, look at the next scene. There are people waiting to reach this light, the great beyond. And this lady's telling him, I'm 106 years old, I've been waiting for this forever, right? This lady here, what she says is, "This beats my dream about the walrus." I obviously didn't catch that on the first watch, but on the second watch, I was being really careful, scattering throughout the movie. And a dream about a walrus, turns out, it symbolizes pressure or domination. And if the walrus in your dream is large, this can be a person who's blocking you from reaching a goal. And if you take that literally, the main character, he's blocking this lady from reaching a goal? Or is it that the great beyond, this light in front of her, is more important, more pressuring, more impactful than the goals, the dreams, and the lifestyle she lived? Maybe I'm stretching that a bit. So this guy panics and he ends up falling off of this platform that leads you to the great beyond. He sees all these souls everywhere and he finds out, oh snap, how am I gonna get out of here? I gotta go back to my body, I gotta do this gig. Throughout most of this movie, this guy is headstrong, tunnel vision. I don't care about anything. My goal needs to be met. I'm this close. I spent my whole life working towards getting an opportunity to make it, and I will never get a chance like this again, right? So he wants to go back to his body, and he's taught by these people in the great beyond that they need to complete this skill set of theirs, their traits of character, personalities. Once they do, they get that earth symbol. They have to find their spark so that these little mini souls could head to earth and be born as babies. Now he gets assigned 22. 22 is somebody that a bunch of greats have tried with her. Muhammad Ali, Abraham Lincoln, all these people. And there's no mentor, no guide. No one can help her find her spark. And they are in this place where your life flashes before your eyes. And at this point, this scene, he sees himself. Now, this is where the topic comes. Is he alive or is he dead? He's watching himself. So I'm assuming he made it to the hospital after falling through the sinkhole. And he's dying. He was headed to the great beyond, but he's still alive. That's how I interpret it. At first I thought he died, but after thinking about it, oh snap, maybe he did not. Now, these two agree to a plan. 22 does not want to become a human. 22 prefers to stay in the gulag so that everything could be chill. She doesn't want to go to Earth. She's convinced it's worse there. So the main character is like, all right, I'm gonna help you get your spark so that you give me that Earth symbol and I could use that and get back to my body. That's what he thinks is gonna work. Now, they're going around tour, and this whole is basically like an orientation. You have to go if you're assigned soul. This area shows people who are in the zone, and when you're in the zone, you're alive, you're in real life, you're just so in sync with what you love and you're harmonizing with it. She shows, watch this, watch how I can mess people up in real life by manipulating where we're at. And of course, a New York joke here, she hits the person when they're in the zone, and this guy in real life misses that dunk. He gets busted. So moving on, the movie goes to show the same area but different sections, and here these are lost souls. There are lost souls in this movie. At this point you're thinking, is this for kids? Holy crap. Now, these lost souls look very sad, tormented. They look like monsters, scary, jittery, and pointless, aimless. And these are real people. Now, when they are in this ship looking around the area, they have a conversation with Moonshine, Moonwind, whatever his name is. And he tells 22 and the main character, you know, there's no difference between being in the zone and being a lost soul. Both are lost in their own ways. He says something very close to that. And they show someone with a metal detector obviously having a passion, and he keeps repeating like, gotta find it, something like that. Surely enough, he turns into a lost soul, searching for that gold. You spend your whole life doing that, making every sacrifice it takes. And it almost sounds like a lost soul is an addict. Also, you start questioning yourself. Am I a lost soul? What am I doing too much of? Am I not balancing? Anyways, the dude Moonwind, Moonshine, Moon Earth, he says, you know what, let's form a circle and meditate and picture where you're at right now, where you are alive. Smell it, feel it. And he sees it. He sees New York, he sees where he's at, he's on his bed, and he's like, oh snap, this is my chance. He jumps with 22. By accident, he gets 22 to come with her. They return to Earth, but he ends up a cat, and 22 ends up a human. And a funny scene is when they walk into a barbershop, and dang, bro, that is horrible. Especially in New York City, you'll get roasted. I mean, seriously, look at the bros, how they take that hairline. Look at him, he's like, I really like the scene afterwards where the barber tells the main character, wow, it was really nice to talk to you for the first time besides music. That's all he would speak to him about. He's seeing that from the third person. He's like, whoa. A little side note, this dude was extra thirsty in the movie. Like, dang, I took this guy as a Grim Reaper. You know, 1 second he's like, we're all chilling, you know, what's his life? Next thing you know, die, hiding in a random guy's chips. Like, chill out. I want to get into the New York City vibe of this movie. The animation is amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. and so much relatability at the same time. Check this out, 7 train. This is the vibe in every single MTA cab. Every single day taking the train, it's the same mood. And when you walk into those cabs, you feel the obvious pressure of people's moods weighing down on you. As soon as you enter a cab, you feel like it's a serious tone. Not to mention the things you see on the train, the problems, the fights. But anyways, they take the train, 22 and the musician. 22 ripped their pants. The mom was supposed to stitch it up. Now, there's a serious conversation. The mom's like, you're gonna take the job, right? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna perform for this. This is a once in a lifetime thing. And the mom says, listen, your dad was a musician that failed. I don't want you to end up walking the same step. And this is very symbolic because it represents generations of people. The compounding effect again and again, time and time, where the same thing happens. It's like that garden mindset. You want to follow your dreams? Do you know how many generations of people didn't make it? I'm trying to protect you. I don't want you to have to go through this. I'm already seeing the similar patterns, this, that. The musician tells 22 to say, basically, I'm scared that my life will amount to nothing if I don't take this opportunity. I'm already basketball deep into this goal. I'm not about to give up. And you can see this as motivation, but also, wow, how so far in you are to getting what you want. And is that going to help you or hurt you? After he tells his mother this, the mother gives him support, and the musician and 22 head over to this gig Dorothea Williams he's supposed to be performing. Throughout this movie, 22 found her spark, but by bits and pieces. And her spark was basically living life. It was just being in the present. This moment is best shown when a leaf falls on 22's hand. And just that feeling, along with tasting pizza and everything else, it really hit 22 this time. 22 gets her spark. And Grim Reaper comes and gets him back into the ether. And they're back in this circle place where souls are jumping to turn to babies and get a sign. 22 and the musician, they are arguing. 22 just throws her earth pass at the main character and leaves. And then one of these workers go, how'd you get to do it? And he says, I guess you could say I got her to walk a mile in my shoes. Like his life was so good that it could make anyone find their purpose, or you could interpret it in general as someone who hasn't had the same life you would appreciate being in their shoes, you know, like an enlightenment, a concept like that. Now, this guy takes his earth pass and is like, bet, I'm out, I'm going back. But before he jumps, he gets this aha moment because this worker tells him a spark is not your purpose. Like, that's so basic to think of. And he goes like, what? A spark's not my purpose. I know music is my purpose. And even though he killed it in that performance, he's changed. His mindset is changed. He starts playing the piano. He just sits down and he looks at these items that 22 carried throughout her journey on Earth. And he picks up this feather, the most symbolic part of 22's journey probably, and it reminds him of that B-roll of New York City while he's playing on a sunset. Like, look at that. Off of the train, pans out the new scene above Central Park, Midtown, and the clarity, the depth, and how good this looks. Sky view, you see the Empire State right there, and then it zooms out to the entire city. Now, this is a very, very powerful moment in the movie because he's playing music to enjoy just for playing it, not because there's a goal. It's just for playing it, pure passion. But on top of this is this new mindset of peace and joy and living in the moment. And I think New York City is the perfect place to show this movie because it's full of people trying their best. Like, this is the city of hard working people. Not to knock on any other place, but the city that never sleeps, the place where people go to the neck full of bills just trying to make it. And it's showing this entire city like there's more to life than this lifestyle. Or you could just take it for face value. Like, look how big, look how complex life is around you. There's more than just your dream, your goal. There's more than that. There's always more. The accuracy. You see Queens, you see Brooklyn, you see Manhattan, and the Bronx you can barely see, which is my hometown, never forget. And this is kind of the tearjerker moment. The way the music is playing in a peaceful and like made it enlightenment kind of a tone. Then it pans out to the rest of the world. You know, this is a hotspot story that happens all the time in New York City. Lost souls, or people so in the zone they forget about everything else. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere because it's one of the hardest places to make it. And then it pans out into the universe. We all share this same journey. You know, we're all a part of something greater. And thinking about it in the sense that there are so many souls that get dropped you know, in so many different time periods, so many people that have already lived, so many timelines you could have been a part of. But the fact that you're here now is amazing. And it's like you're looking at somebody who's won the lottery, more than won the lottery. And same thing goes for you. It could have been so many other options, but you're here now in a world with this opportunity and with this dynamic. This movie closes off with this guy getting in the zone. You know, he's playing through all these things they're showing, and he ends up getting back to the ether, and he saves 22, the lost soul. She becomes a lost soul because she's convinced no matter what happens, I will never change. Becomes lost in despair. And this guy saves her by showing her that symbol, that leaf, that reminded 22 of what life was really about. This guy is now back to this escalator looking place. He's about to go to the great beyond. He is about to die. One of the main workers go, working in the place of inspiration and motivation, it is very rare that a soul or someone inspires us. And she gives him another chance. The musician gets another chance at life. This is a beautiful, beautiful message. It's like you can be lost in your own ways, but maybe through helping others or by living life through another perspective, you can save not only yourself, but someone else. You get another chance at life when you put this new lens on and not only make it about yourself. So this guy got a new shot and he's like, bro, I won. It's like, I won at life. You know a movie's good when it has you reading the credits. What an amazing job by Pixar, putting in that work 6 feet apart too. Shout out to Pete Docter. This guy is killing it in Pixar. I would love to meet this guy. The amount of movies he has made that have such a strong impact on me. I mean, look at all the lineup of movies. This is just some of the things he's done. He's done The Incredibles. Also, he's done a lot. Shout out to Ken Powers, Mike Jones, and the entire Pixar team. What a great job. And the reason why I love it so much is the ending of the movie is the neon shift. It's that moment in life where something clicks and you will never end on negative. It's that spark. It's that true switch in life that when it happens, there's just no turning back. And that's what I really wish for each and every one of you watching. To reach a point in life where you feel happy with where you are at and aware that every day you get is a blessing. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. There will be more reviews like this one. I'm going to go into reviewing animes, more movies. Feel free to stay tuned as I'm going to be racing more buses here in New York City. And as always, never end on negative. Take care.